Silksong is finally out and it killed everything. It crashed Steam, it crashed the PlayStation Store, it crashed the Nintendo Network, it crashed everything, and it is going insane yesterday when it came out. And it's just really funny to see how every store just couldn't handle it, except for the Microsoft Store, because no one buys games on Microsoft anymore. So that's kind of funny. And the way other stores tried to cash in on this, like GOG, we're going to be on PC Gamer today. This is written by Joshua Woolens. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down in the description if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Silksong crashed Steam the nanosecond it released, but checkout is finally working. Whoops. And that's true. It like literally as soon as it came out, Steam went down. Like everyone tried to buy it right away. You couldn't pre-order it. Team Cherry said no pre-orders. So everyone had to try to buy it at the same time, and it was insane. It really is interesting to see that, like, I feel like a lot of people would have preferred if they could pre-order it so they could also pre-download it, because it's a single player game, right? So like if Steam's down, it doesn't matter as long as you can have the game on your Steam account. But the problem is that people couldn't even get to the checkout, which is kind of funny. So it's just one of those situations where, yeah, I mean, like pre-ordering is bad, but for Silksong it kind of made a little bit more sense, I guess. But Team Cherry isn't into that. Just before we get deeper into the article, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it if you do. 95% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you would like to support directly, go over at patreon.com/thetechnojelly and join the credits and have some exclusive content for you as well. It's Silksong release day yesterday. Actually, at the time of writing, it's literally Silksong release minute, and the sheer unbridled hype of the whole situation has brought Steam to a crashing halt. Whoops. As I type these words, attempting to access the Steam store results in a E502L3 error message and a bashful something went wrong. I know something went wrong, Steam. Everyone clicked the Silksong button at the same time. That is true. And to be fair as well, the Silksong had like a peak current player base, concurrent players at like 520,000 at one point during release day. So like once people got in, they were playing the heck out of that game. With 36 million users online, SteamStat.us currently lists the Steam store as operating at very slow capacity, occasionally ticking over to concerned yellow bad gateway messages. Yep, it also crashed the Nintendo Network, the Nintendo eShop, and the PlayStation Store. It is worth mentioning, of course, that hollowknightsilksong was never up for pre-order. Anyone who wanted a day one access to the game had to turn up at 15 GMT on the dot and buy the dang thing. But allowing pre-orders rather than forcing the game's incredibly thirsty fans of legions and curious onlookers to all show up at once have ameliorated the situation, probably a bit, but it would have been much less funny. It is true. And I think one of the things is that generally pre-ordering is a bad thing. You shouldn't pre-order a video game because video games, especially nowadays within the past 10 years, aren't guaranteed to work, and the marketing can just be lies. So I feel like pre-ordering generally is bad, but specifically for Silksong, I don't think it would have been necessarily a bad idea, but overall it makes sense for them not to do it because Team Cherry has never been about that. I mean, the game's only $20 as well, so like it's not even that expensive. It's cheap for even an indie game, so yeah, it's pretty shocking. Social media is awash with Steam users rather shocked and or miffed about the whole thing. Song crashed Steam, sad face, writes one. Steam, fix yourself please, I'm trying to buy a Silksong, writes another. Via set for the Steam, writes one user in what I can only assume is an expression of anguish. That probably makes sense. Not to worry folks, Steam seems just about to be whirring back into life as Gabe Newell presumably takes one of his many knives to the servers. It's true. But I guess we've learned at least one thing. All those devs who delayed their games to escape Silksong, Asteroid Strike was probably absolutely right to do so. If nothing else, they wouldn't be able to sell their games on a crash store page. That is true. And it does prove that all those devs were correct in being careful about releasing the same day as Silksong. I'm super happy to see that Silksong has been doing well, and for the most part, when I've watched the game, I'm going to play it at some point. It seems like the game is great. It's more Hollow Knight, which is great. Like 90% of the game is just more Hollow Knight, which is good, and then there's like a 10%-ish of like new, like brand new things, but it's mostly just quality of life stuff from what I can tell, which is why I really hope this game still does really well, or like people don't hate on it too much, because there is I guess in the back of my mind, worry that people are going to forget that this game is a Metroidvania, and Metroidvanias have pretty much been a figured out genre in terms of innovation for a very long time. So I hope no one's going in expecting this to be not a Metroidvania, but I feel like most people aren't looking into that like that. I feel like there's going to be a very loud minority of people that are going to be like, oh, Silksong's terrible because of this, and this, and they're just describing a Metroidvania basically. So hopefully it goes well in terms of that way. But I mean, hey, having over 500,000 concurrent players on a single player game on launch day is really good, especially for a indie game. And that's not only including Steam. We're not including GOG, we're not including itch, we're not including the PlayStation Store, the Nintendo eShop, or Xbox. So that's a crazy amount of sales just for one platform. And I'm pretty sure if not, this game sold really well on Switch as well. So this game also being on Switch 2 on the eShop is going to be pretty really good for it. And it's just really nice to see that it actually finally happened. It's finally here and it is alive and well. So hopefully this means that the game itself will continue going on and keep selling. And I'm just excited to see how people really like the game. I've watched a bunch of streams and videos on it, and it seems that everyone's really liking it, which is good. And I'm glad to see the game finally come out. And this is like what everyone hoped something like Duke Nukem Forever would happen, because the game's actually good, even though Duke Nukem Forever wasn't that good. At least Silksong, everyone's waited for so long, and the game's good. And it turns out it's just like, it wasn't worth the wait. And I feel like for a lot of people, it's going to be yes, especially for that price. It's still crazy to me that the game's only $20. I feel like a lot of people have been totally fine with 30 or 40 US dollars at least. But hey, Team Cherry is just proving that they're just three guys that love video games and love making video games. So it's a great to see the non-greedy side of game development for once in the indie scene, because I feel like I've seen a lot of negative stuff in the AAA industry, and it's just nice to see guys, people just making video games, loving video games, and selling it for what they think it's worth, and people disagreeing because they think it's worth more. But hey, it's great to see it. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. I feel like this is going to be one of the last couple videos for Silksong, because there is still some stuff happening around Silksong, but it's mostly just about the release. But I finally can not have the Silksong is the game going to be released videos. It's very strange. I've made like 3 or 4 of them at this point. If you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe. 95% of the people who aren't watching aren't subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button. You just heard my opinion. Please, I'd love to hear your opinion down in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. If you'd like to join all of these nice people in the credits, please go over to patreon.com/detectivejelly and join them and look for some exclusive content as well. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye everyone.